So what is the theory? That they brought Sanskrit or precursor to Sanskrit. Okay? That is the theory. We have a Sanskrit long before that. Gone. But that particular data on the genetics at least would have questioned them on the timing of it. If that answers. So really to me it's not conclusive in any way. I mean it's useful in the sense of to know more about our own civilization, just like finding the pots and pans and whatever we can find, that's fine. But as far as the Aryan invasion theory, nothing. In fact, it doesn't matter what you are going to find in genetics. That is, see, what is the Aryan claim? The claim is about the language. Remember that. The whole problem, their dogma is you cannot have Rigveda before 1500 BC.
Yeah.
Now, you saw Saraswati evidence. Naditame, Anditame, Devitame, Saraswati, Giribhya A Samudra. The Konde paper from 2017, it says there was a grand river flowing all the way going to the ocean in the Kutch, but no river going to Kutch in last 10,000 years. With that, Aryan theory goes away too. There is so much that just destroys Aryan invasion theory. We don't, do the genetic research as much as you want for knowing more about it, has no implication as I see it for Aryan invasion theory. But every time a new genetic evidence will come up, the Tony Joseph and Hindu, they will write more articles, more books and so on.
Well, we also know that people migrate. It could be the Rigveda came to India maybe 20,000 BC. So there could still be people, not 1500 BC, let's go west. Maybe 20,000 BC.
Okay.
25,000 BC. Because in Rigveda, most of the reference is to Saraswati and Indus. Barely touch upon Ganga, little bit Yamuna. So 90% of river focus is Saraswati and Sindh. So it looks like it was more the northwest Punjab, that part of it.
Okay, so I'll split that into two. So first thing is, so if you make, you are just discussing, but if you make that claim, I will say again, remember who has the onus. Okay, so you will have to put that theory, and I don't have to do that until you or somebody else puts forward that theory. But no, it will fall on its face for many other reasons. But let's take the second aspect. What was that second aspect? Like a Saraswati percentage. Actually, that's not quite true. Saraswati is huge, that is true. Ganga is very little, I agree with you. But even Indus is not as much.
No, Sindhu.
The Sindhu is not that much. See, many times Sindhu is used in a generic sense of a river or an ocean and all that. Some very specific, like 10.75, Nadi Sukta, the 10th Mandal 75. Okay, 19 rivers are mentioned, and few other places Sindhu Nadi is mentioned as Sindhu Nadi. No big deal to Sindhu until you come to the 10th Mandal.
That more number of times than Ganga.
Yes, agree.
If you put the river order,
Yes.
highest is Saraswati.
Yes.
Sindhu, Yamuna, then Ganga.
No, not Sindhu, but let's not fight on that. Satluj, you will find Satluj, Vipasha, and Shududri. Right. Ganga is very little. In fact, it mentioned as a Jahnavi and so on and so forth. There is a reason for it. Sometimes what happens, like where you are, the person who is writing about it, the Vishwamitra crossing Vipasha, So, what do you call that? In the stock market or mutual funds, the top mutual funds, we say the bias of the winner. Right? So, some players who lost the game, like a mutual funds long before, they won't be in the top 10 anyways. They lost long time ago. Similarly, when the events are happening in a certain region, those events were mentioned, the others were not mentioned, but the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. As an initial analysis, great analysis that you said, but that is not sufficient to make the comments about it.
No, what I meant is, they might have come 35,000 BC, 50,000 BC.
Correct, great point. Let me ask. Okay, so Tilak had an article in the Vedas, right? Okay, I'm giving a lecture on Tilak's work and my work. The Tilak's 100 years, right? 1920 passed away in Mumbai on 30 January 2020. You all are invited. Okay, so I'm basically looking at his research. Again, amazing research. That particular thesis is falsified, but what he did for his time and even now is amazing. In fact, in Marathi there is a saying, and we have here a bilingual person, I know, somewhere, Marathi and from Chembur. Oh, he left? Yeah, okay. Alright, he would have translated. In Marathi we say, Baap dako nahi to shraddha kar. Okay, those who translate that, show me the money kind of thing. show me the evidence. So Tilak actually used that tactic when much other evidence did not exist. Using that precession of the equinoxes, that axis moving, he said these are the 4 options you have. The best option for you, meaning from the Western Indologist point of view, to make the Indian civilization as young as possible is 4500 BC. Take it or leave it. If you don't like it, go for 15,000, go for 24,000.
Also, they were, Max Muller worked on a 5,000 year time frame because he was a strong believer in Bible.
Yeah.
He thought the whole earth is only 5,000 years after the flood.
Yeah.
So he was trying to fit in everything within that pot.
Correct. And so the Max Muller comes and we give this sign here. I mean, why Max Muller? Sheldon Pollock. I mean, I have written a paper. Go back to YouTube. Type Nilesh or Sheldon Pollock. You'll get my talk on this. Yeah. Or his student Audrey Tushke, if you know. Like, you know, they blocked me. He said, okay, let's come and have a debate. They blocked me. That's how their Nyaya works. You know, their Vada works. Why? This is not difficult to understand, but they won't stand a chance. They have, I mean, what Max Muller did, it's like they sat there. There is a 30-second clip of Sheldon Pollock that I think Rajiv Malhotra put it one time on YouTube or whatever it is. Like he says, and something, I forgot, what happened? Well, it happened, Ramayana, you know, it happened 500 BC. And why do I say that? Because I can. Right. Right? Okay, next.
So I have a question. Before the Mahabharata war, initiated, both the Pandavas and the Kauravas, both of them went to Sahadeva and said, I want to win the war. He's known as a very good astrologer. Tell me the best time to start the war so that my side is going to come out as a winning side. He is part of Pandavas, but still Kauravas went to him. Are there any evidences in Mahabharata that you read that talks about, because we're talking about all the stars and astrology and all that,
right?
Are there specific verses that he said that is also used in your research?
Okay, so quickly I repeat the question. So apparently the both sides went to Sadeva. He was good in astrology or calendar or something like this, and asked for a good muhurta. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there evidence in the Mahabharata? Now, just like I told you, like I have read many times Mahabharata and I miss many references. Anyone knows the name Sai Swarupa Iyer, novelist? Yeah, Draupadi, Sai Swarupa Iyer, a young author, writes wonderfully. So she's doing recently an online kind of thing. I mean, she does that 18 days and a very detailed events, and she's making excellent thing. So when she's doing, I just kind of fun participated. So anytime she gives an astronomy reference, I check that for my date. And she gave me 6 that I missed. Okay? But they all match, by the way. That's the good news. I mean, the typical conjunctions and all that. So just saying that I might have missed, but I can tell you again, Sat, the truth. I have read Mahabharata at least 30 times, right from the front to the end, like every time. I have not found it. Doesn't mean it's not there. I might have missed it. But to the best of my knowledge, that particular episode is not there. In the Telugu Mahabharata or something, Andhra Mahabharata, I have heard about those 12 years, 13 years, did they truly complete or something of that effect? And then Duryodhana goes to Yudhishthira because he believes in Yudhishthira or something. Again, that event is not there in the main Chitra Shah Praise or Gita Praise or edition or Southern edition, Kumbhakonam edition, Shastri edition, it's not there.
I have a question. Okay, this is about the new archaeological findings near Madurai. They found potteries and everything, and they carbon-dated it. It's about 35 years old, and it contains Tamil Brahmi script, plus some other characters which are very similar to what they found in Harappa.
Okay, like IBC script.
Yeah. And now the people in Tamil Nadu are all very excited, saying that language, the Tamil language of that, was spoken throughout India during that period of 45,000 years ago. And there are so many video tapes on YouTube. And here's the person by name Bhaskar Das. He claims that Sanskrit was derived from the old Tamil.
Okay.
Okay? So Sanskrit is much younger. Now, this is a 45-minute
Yeah.
funny thing that
Yeah.
you got to sit and listen.
Correct.
Sanskrit is much younger
Yeah.
than Tamil, okay? And the shocking thing is, Sanskrit is derived from Tamil because as Tamil language moved north, it got corrupted, and all these other languages
Yeah.
were from Tamil,
Yeah.
okay? As it was corrupted, so I couldn't understand his logic, but have you heard of research?
Yeah, not the
Master
Bhaskar,
theories.
not the Bhaskar Das or all that, but these kind of videos come all the time.
Oh yeah, of course.
Mahadevan, Iravatan Mahadevan used to write the thing. See, I mean, that's what the spirit we need, guys. I mean, it doesn't matter which side of the divide you are, okay? Doesn't matter. Yeah, what are we looking for? The truth, okay? See, for example, I mean, my mother tongue is Marathi, okay? I mean, jokingly, when the Dravida thing comes, you know, and says, oh yeah, you like this. Relax, man. I mean, somebody, I'm saying, oh, I'm one of the Pancha Dravida. And there is a Dravida above me, Gujarat, that is also Pancha Dravida. What are you getting excited about? You know, we are brothers, you know. Yes. Yeah. So that's one aspect. So these videos comes. I will say what we, I mean, as a native pastor, I don't know that particular person, but these things come. You know, we should come and then most of the time these guys don't respond. I don't know why. I mean, you know why, but you should ask them, okay, what's your evidence? See, the person who making the claim has the onus of the evidence. But if that comes out as a case, let's rejoice it. I mean, there's nothing. If Marathi happens to be the original language, I'm like super excited. If Tamil happens to be the original, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Something that I didn't know. I mean, what? That's nothing. So, like sir asked here, what if the Rigveda came from like 21,000, 25,000? Let me tell you. In my research, like I worked studied in Canada also, I had read article in the Vedas, Tirak's books. I made it to the Arctic Circle twice, only with Tirak's books in my mind. Okay, one time in Alaska, like Kuro Bay, another time in Norway, Sweden. Just to see whatever the description is saying and the article in the Vedas, to see it. I mean, that's the kind of thing you want.
That reminds me of another question.
Okay, and we'll take that as the last one and we'll stop.
It was also on the videotape. It says, this guy argues that Rigveda must have come much later to India because Rigveda mentions chariots
Yeah.
and iron weapons, and Harappan excavations did not show anything resembling a chariot or anything made out of iron.
Yeah.
Therefore, it should be much younger than Harappan civilization.
Correct. Okay, great question. Everyone, I will repeat the question. So, like you know, the Rigveda must have come to India later because in Harappan, so Rigveda mentions iron, Rigveda mentions chariots, horses, all that, and Harappa has none of it, you know, in a simple fashion. First thing, that information itself is not correct on many grounds. Okay, so you didn't mention horse, but if he mentions horse is there. You know, just like genetic thing, I mean, not just the human migrating out of India. I don't have a graph here. Mouse, you know about the mouse, domestic mouse? Okay, don't think India only exports IT folks, you know. Mouse, the domestic mouse. If you go track genetic tree for domestic mouse, 3 different varieties, there will be many others, but 3 dominant varieties from India, all parts of the world. Domestic mouse. And what is the significance of that? People don't realize, okay, so mouse, fine. No. Domestic mouse is connected with the agriculture. It's connected with the settled civilization. Okay? And which means with agriculture, people migrating, it went there. Now, immediately people say, well, where is the evidence of agriculture? By the way, that genetic clock, now these are not exact clocks, it refers to, depending on which model you use, 15,000, 20,000, 30,000, 35,000, 40,000 years, when this thing happened. The agriculture evidence, now as you push through archaeology, is going backward. 9,000 years is now, you know, people said, okay, come on, it came from Turkey or whatnot. 9,000 BC, 16,000 BC. How many of you know that? 16,000 BC. Now somebody is fighting with me if I say the southern Indian culture in 16,000 BC. They say, what are you talking? It was not even habitable. There is a 16,000 BC evidence of agriculture. Where? From Sri Lanka and the southern India. There is a 43,000 BC evidence of agriculture from Indian subcontinent. Okay, so that's that. But back to this. So there is no iron, there is no horse. Okay, so whoever says that, first thing, this person needs to understand metallurgy, like what happens to iron over a period of time, unlike copper and whatnot. But something else, the person has to understand how archaeology works. We find a lot of stuff in archaeology and we think, oh, well, we have found a lot, and that is true. What we don't know is that everything that ever existed in a civilizational sense, 99.99999% of it is just gone. It's just gone, we are not going to find it. What we end up finding is actually 0.0000001%. And it's amazing that with that little evidence we can learn a lot. But you know, those people in statistics Bayesian analysis, is there a life on another planet? You know how you figure that out? There is no good way. So you put 0, 1, binary, 000011110000111, and you say there is a 60% probability that there is a life on another planet. I just made it simple, or something like this. So the onus is on that person. Very little archaeology evidence is actually found. So what we shouldn't confuse is the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Okay, we'll stop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Nilesh ji, for coming and giving a great talk, and thanks for the lively participation. We'll be serving dinner, so feel free to use this time to ask more questions, get questions
Socialize.
clarified, and socialize. Thank you.
You could have gone for